Bank manager tears up the check of a young black woman, not knowing her mom is a millionaire. CEO of the bank lobby was silent when Amira Daniels walked in, holding a certified check for $850,000 with her mother's signature on it. She stood in line quietly, hair pulled back, posture calm, nothing flashy, just a focused young professional with purpose. The manager at the glass office noticed her. He did not smile. He glanced at the amount before even glancing at her, and his expression shifted, the kind rich people get when they see someone they do not believe deserves that kind of number. Amira stepped forward. "Good afternoon, I'm here to deposit this into—" He cut her off with a gentle smile, polite, controlled, deadly. "Ma'am, for amounts this large, we first need to verify where you got it." The tone was surgical, not loud, not cruel, but full of accusation. She blinked, stunned. "It's from my mother's business account." "She's—" He leaned forward. "We'll need proof. Real proof. You understand?" As if she were a suspect. He still had not even asked her mother's name. He wasn't checking the check. He was checking her, and in that moment Amira understood. This was not about fraud. This was about who was holding the check. But what he didn't know was that her mother was the owner of the biggest tech firm in the state. And she was watching everything. Live, the manager didn't even wait for Amira to reply. He picked up the check delicately, like it was suspicious. "Evidence?" Then glanced toward security before speaking again. "Do you have employment verification?" No greeting, no courtesy. Straight to interrogation. Amira kept her voice steady. "I'm the operations director for the Daniels Group. This is a business fund transfer handled through our firm's—" He smiled. That patronizing smile certain people wear when they've already decided you're lying. "Oh, operations director, are we?" He didn't even hide the condescension. "You must understand. This is a reputable institution. We have protocols." Behind her, two women in luxury blazers watched, whispering, subtle smirks forming. To them, it was entertainment, a slow humiliation. Amira's heart beat angrily in her chest, but her face remained marble still. Her mother had raised her for this exact moment. Never let small men believe they control you. The manager held the check up to the light dramatically, then looked at her again, scanning her outfit. "Her skin, her silence." "Ma'am," he said softly, "I'm going to need you to step aside until we confirm this isn't stolen." The words landed like a public slap. A father holding his young daughter in line turned to look. A teenage boy stared with that uncomfortable awareness. People get when they feel injustice, but don't know if they're allowed to react. And then the manager made his biggest mistake. He waved to a teller. "Flag. IT." He said it openly, loud enough for the room to hear, as if catching a criminal. That was when Amira finally spoke, without raising her voice even once. "Do you currently know who you just flagged?" That was not anger. That was warning. The bank manager paused, just for a second, thrown off by how calm she still was. He straightened his tie, tried to regain dominance. "I don't think you understand the seriousness of what—" But he stopped speaking because the glass office door behind him opened, and a woman in a charcoal suit stepped out. Eyes sharp, presence heavy. Not just another employee. She was the regional director of the entire bank chain, and she already looked furious. She didn't look at the manager first. She looked at Amira, with immediate recognition. "Miss Daniels?" The entire room went silent. The manager blinked, confused, frozen. He slowly turned, like a man realizing the fire was already behind him. The director's voice was calm, but it cut like glass. "Why?" she said, eyes still on Amira. "Is the daughter of Evelyn Daniels being held and flagged like a shoplifter in my bank?" His face turned white. Someone gasped. Even the security guard unconsciously stepped back. Amira didn't smile. She just said quietly, "I gave you chances to use respect." The manager opened his mouth, but nothing came out, because the director didn't give him time to speak. "Step out of my bank." The manager stood frozen, mouth slightly open. He attempted one last defense, shaky, desperate. I wasn't aware she was... The director turned to face him fully. You weren't aware because you didn't bother to ask. Not loud, but devastating. A murmur spread through the lobby. People suddenly stood up straighter, as if witnessing live justice. And then, the glass entry doors opened. Evelyn Daniels walked in. Her mother, the billionaire CEO, calm, elegant, sharp, no bodyguards. No anger, just presence. Every employee immediately straightened. Every customer went silent. The regional director lowered her head respectfully. Mrs. Daniels, we were just... Evelyn didn't look at her. She only looked at her daughter. Amira, she said gently, are you all right? That moment alone felt like royalty entering. The same manager who tried to remove her earlier had instinctively stepped back, as if she were made of untouchable power. Amira finally exhaled, shoulders unlocking just slightly. I'm fine, Mom. Her voice was steady, and then Evelyn slowly turned her head toward the manager. You tore up her check. Without asking one question? It wasn't a question. It was a verdict. The man could know. Longer breathe, normally, Evelyn. Didn't need to shout. You judged her value before. You even heard her speak. Dead silence. Just distant piano. Music from somewhere upstairs. The manager stood there. No argument left in him. The entire bank had stopped breathing. Evelyn looked at the regional director. Not the man. My daughter will finish her transaction. With respect, the regional director nodded at once. Immediately, Mrs. Daniels, she escorted Amira herself to the private executive counter normally reserved for CEOs and foreign diplomats. No, one spoke as she passed. No one dared to. Amira placed the same. Check gently on the counter, no anger, no arrogance, just grace, with the whole room watching. Her mother stood beside her, hand on her shoulder, and the same people who stared earlier now lowered their eyes, not because she demanded it, but because truth had put them in their place, as they finished the transaction. The bank manager, now demoted to a silent shadow near the exit, whispered without looking up, I am... Sorry. Amira didn't even turn toward him. She simply replied, but softly, treat the next woman with dignity, before you regret it again. If you were in that bank today, would you have stepped back quietly? Or would you have stood up before power arrived? Your answer reveals more than you think. Share this if you still believe respect should not depend on recognition. Subscribe for more stories where silence turns into strength.